All right, good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, and Mondays are leg day. So today we're going to focus on ATG mobility and quads. So I'm going to get the ATG workout through the ATG app. This is their introductory workout, starting out with 4 sets of 8 reps of their split squats, starting out with no weight and a higher foot elevation, and then progressively making it harder by adding weight and removing elevation. I have been experiencing some pain on the upper part of my knee, and I think it's been due to box jumps that I was working on earlier last week. So this is working on strengthening that area. I should note that started out this day with 5 minutes of incline backward walk, but just forgot to film it. So we're going to skip ahead there. And you can see here, making sure the knee goes over the toe, being careful being careful to pay attention to the way that my knee feels and not add unnecessary strain. So here we have a couch stretch, 2 sets, 45 seconds each on each leg. And this was difficult. This was a really, really good stretch, which probably means that I was very, very tight. So there's a similar stretch I've done before when I used to play soccer, where you kind of, you fold the leg and then you pull on the ankle and lay down on it while your other leg is stretched out. This is kind of doing something similar, but I think this is more, maybe active, whereas opposed to in the other stretch that maybe some other soccer players are familiar with, it's a bit passive because you're laying on it. But these were really, really good. All right, so now we're jumping into tib raises, 3 sets of 20 reps. I've done tib raises before and actually love the pump that you get from a tib raise, but I hate doing them against the wall. I'm doing them this way because that's how they do them in the app, and I wanted to show you as demonstrated there. My favorite way to do a tib raise is just to find a incline bench and stand on the back bar and then just raise your toes that way. All right, so now we have external rotations. These ones I improvised on because I like to stretch here as opposed to actually use the weight. I should use the weight the next time, but I just felt like doing these external rotation stretches as opposed to using a dumbbell. And these have helped me in more ways than I can describe probably. This have helped my squat, allowing me to grip closer on the bar. This has also removed pain from my left shoulder, as I mentioned in my last video. It also increases just general range of motion when doing any kind of raises, lateral raises, removes pain when doing military presses. So these, I think, are essential. I kind of do these actually every single day, and it's been helping dramatically. All right, so finally getting into the gym here, starting the workout, warming up with 1 set of plates, 135 here, squatting and focusing on form, paying attention to my knee, making sure that ATG mobility workout didn't overexhaust my knee. Not feeling any pain here. I'm burning through these 8 reps fairly easily with no pain, and I'm loving it. So this was a good set. All right, starting off with the second set, we have 185. This felt very good. No pain in my shoulder, no pain in the knee. Aside from, I think the second to last rep, I started to feel pain in the knee. And that's when I started to pay a little bit more attention, be a little bit careful. I kind of shifted my weight on the left side so that my right knee doesn't feel so much more tension. But it went away pretty quickly, and I think I was fine there. Okay, starting off with 225. Now the weight is getting a little bit heavy, but surprisingly felt very comfortable for me. As I mentioned in my last video, I've been getting a little bit scared of squats. I've been on this set, I felt very confident. 2 plates, moving it pretty smoothly. I am still kind of having that issue with kind of bearing down too much and feeling a little bit dizzy, a little bit lightheaded, though it didn't happen nearly as much as it has before on with 2 plates. So I was really surprised with that. Now moving on to 275 here. This on the lift off felt pretty comfortable, but you'll see that first of all, my depth has not been very good in any of these sets, so I need to work on that. But also here, you've got a little bit of sway in that second rep, and then right here on this third rep, I started to feel pain on the inside, not pain, but strain on the inner groin. And that's when I just decided to give it up and not push through it, causing any muscle pulls or anything. So next, we've got the leg press. Again, depth here. I think I was trying to focus a little bit more on short reps, half reps to pump through and really get blood flowing to my legs. I feel like I haven't worked out legs to my full potential in a while. So treating this as kind of a warm-up day. And then next week, I'll probably focus a lot more on form and depth and pushing myself to be more efficient. By this point, after having done the leg mobility as well as the squats, even with these kind of partial reps, I felt an insane pump in the quads. And I even felt, I think after this second set here, again, an intense amount of heat that went to my quads. So you can really tell in the midst of your workout when things are happening inside. So I thought that was really interesting, that you feel heat in the muscle as blood gets pumped to it. Starting to fatigue the muscle here. I was getting really, really tired. You'll also notice that I had my legs stayed up in between sets, and at the end of that second set I took them down just because it was too much. The reason why I left them up there, this works much better when you're on kind of the incline free weight press, but I tried it here just to experiment because it was what was available. When you leave your legs up in between sets, what you're doing is you're letting the blood drain. You're keeping the blood drain more towards your hips, like down your leg. And then as soon as you finish the exercise and you jump off the leg press, all the blood rushes down your leg and instantly kind of pumps it. And this is something I think I had heard from Seth Feroci. So now we're in leg extensions. This is probably my favorite workout because I just love to like squeeze right at the top and hold. And that's where I kind of want to focus on the different heads of the quad. Here today, because I hadn't done them in a while, I just decided to not focus on any of the one specific heads, but just keep the leg straight, don't rotate the leg at all, and just try and get as many reps in as possible. Try and get good mind-muscle connection in here, which is not too difficult. Making sure to have my seat a little bit further back so that I could target a little bit of the top part, the higher part of the quad. And that's it. Post leg day thoughts. It's been a while since I have felt that level of engagement in my quads. I don't know why. I think I've been scared of the squat lately, and I've been doing lower weights and more reps. But every time I feel like a slight pinch in something or a muscle pull or whatever, not a muscle pull, but a little bit of awkward strain on a muscle, I'll just stop. And today, I think I did 4 sets. I did 4 sets and a whole lot of mobility work, as you guys saw in the beginning. I did the full ATG workout for like the intro workout. And my knees felt fine. My right knee tweaked a little bit, and the right knee is the one that hurts the most usually. It just tweaked a very, very little bit, and I was mindful of it. I was careful of it. I didn't put too much pressure. Kind of shifted the weight on my left side, which probably isn't the right thing to do, but it went away. Like, that was fine. And then something else that I've been doing that I think has improved my squat dramatically, improved the form of my squat dramatically, is my external rotation range. So I normally did not have a very good external rotation. Even now, even after I've worked on it and I'm talking about it, I'm turning this and I get this pinch in my rotator. The rotator cuff. And it's just been bad. And I've been working on that. I worked on that with my PT. I worked on that with my sister-in-law, who's also a PT. And just various things I've seen online, just ways to kind of, I've learned that proper squat form, you want to have your arms as close together on the bar as possible, which, really flexes your mid back and your traps, and the bar sits very comfortably on there. Normally when I've done that, something tweaks, like it feels like it's pulling, or I get like a pinched nerve or something. It was always uncomfortable, so I'd always end up going kind of like shoulder width, maybe even wider. And I can't say exactly what it is that's better about it. I think there's less pressure on my neck, that's for sure, because normally when you have a wider grip, there's less flexion of the traps, so the bar sits on your spine, on your vertebrae, and it hurts. And that's why people use pads and stuff, and or they tried to do the front squat, which I always found too uncomfortable. But this has been working. Working on mobility, the external rotation, that's oddly enough, like, you would think that when you're working on squats, it's all about the legs, maybe your hips and core. You never think about your shoulders and your arms. You're thinking, oh, I'm just holding the bar up, But especially with me, how I pinched my nerve on the left side, which I had 0 pain there today, which was awesome. You would think it's all about the legs, but the arms play a role there, apparently. So that's good. I felt really comfortable at 135. Obviously, of course, you felt very comfortable at 225. 275 felt really good. And then it wasn't until, 225 was good. It wasn't until I hit 275, which, normally I used to work 275 very comfortably and maybe struggled on the 6th, 7th, or 8th rep. But today, I kind of had trouble with bearing down again too much, and kind of started to pull my groin, and that's when I failed on the last rep. I actually started to feel it on the rep before that, and I said, oh, okay, I know that's not good. I felt this before, so I'm just gonna do one more rep. I'll try and push through this. Is probably not the right thing to do. I should have just stopped. But I said I'll do one more, and I won't. That's why I let myself fail there, because I didn't want to push through that pain. But I'm glad. Like, I kind of pushed myself to the limit and like a step further, and that's it. So that's good. And that was 4 sets. So I got 4 sets out of that. So that was good. There's a lot of volume there too. Yeah, 4 sets. And so I'm happy with that. The leg press, I underperformed dramatically. Maybe it's because I pushed myself so much on the squat. Everything else after that felt weaker. And I guess that's fine. So as long as I'm getting the proper engagement, which I definitely felt today. So maybe it's because I engaged my quads so much on the squat that everything else felt more exhausted. and required less weight for stimulus, which good or bad, I don't know. All I know is I feel it. My legs were shaking for some of that time. And yeah, I felt really good. So you might have also noticed in between sets for the leg press, I left my legs up there. The idea there, I think this was a concept I learned from Seth Feroce. The idea there is you keep blood flow like down your legs, and then when you're finally finished the entire workout, the entire exercise, all sets, then you put your legs down and all the blood rushes down your legs and starts to pump up your quads a lot. Now that works better on like the incline leg press, not the Smith machine one that I was using, but the regular machine, the like free weight machine. That one works way better. I've done it before there. I almost can't handle 3 sets of it. And that one's harder because you either need a partner so they can swap out the weight, or you just have to stick with the same weight the whole time. But this was great. So not as effective, but I was just experimenting with it there. It works. It's just not as much. Yeah, so leg press felt good. I was happy with that. I just noticed the weakness there. There's required, lost a little energy there. Then there was leg extensions. Leg extensions was super weak. I was almost like, wait, this isn't right. 130 is normally very easy for me. That's like my warm-up weight. And I noticed I was struggling with it. Now, granted, I've been changing things up a little bit. So normally my leg days are Monday, and that's it. Like, I won't say normally, I'll say previously. My leg days were on Monday, and I'd work out the entire leg. Front, quads and hams, like front and back legs, like rear, your glutes as well included in that. I would do squats, stiff-legged deadlifts, focusing on the hamstrings and the glutes, and then I would do leg press, leg extensions, hamstring curls, and calves. And then if I had time, I would do something that targets the glutes specifically, maybe the abductor machine, depending on how I felt energy-wise at the end of the workout. And I honestly loved those days. I don't know why I left them. I know why I left them. I was experimenting, and I heard from some people that sometimes it's good to split up your legs to 2 times a week, focusing front legs at one part of the week, and then your second workout later in the week, you'll do rear, where it's glutes, hamstrings, calves only. So you'll still do like squats or sleds or something. You'll just do them at a lighter weight because you're more exhausted. And then you'll do the rear stuff. So that's what I've been experimenting with now. It's I think I'm also kind of doing it just because it's less workouts and less exercises in the session, which saves me on time. I think I want to go back to doing it the way I used to, where I work out the entire leg all on Monday, and that exhausts me for, the whole week. There were times even into the second week I would still feel sore. And that reminds me of Tom Platz and his kind of philosophy on was it Tom Platz and or Mike Mentzer too, just kind of the idea of, yeah, for sure Mike Mentzer, but I'm pretty sure Tom Platz says this too, where you just kind of work out the muscle group to complete and total exhaustion and beyond, and then you're like resting for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I think Mike Mentzer said he would work out legs once a month or twice a month, which is nuts when you think about it. But like I said in my last video, I feel like there's not enough conversation about recovery, active recovery. That's when muscle is being built, right? That's actually should be what we should be focusing the most on. I feel like bodybuilders and athletes they know how to exhaust the muscle. They know how to tear the fibers. That part is like very, very well understood, I think, for the most part. Aside from maybe form and, ego lifting and stuff like that. It's very clear to me that the point of going into the gym is to tear the muscle fibers as much as possible, allowing for blood to flow and allowing for you to feed it post-workout. So that part is pretty clear to me. I think there's like different exercises that tear the muscle a little bit more efficiently, or tear it in different areas, target different areas. Once you have that down, it's like, okay, then what? You know, you just hurt yourself at that point. You've destroyed yourself. But how do you rebuild it? Like, that's the main thing. And we know, like, we know that that's, you know, eat lots of protein. Your body, like I would do, your target body weight converted to grams in protein. So like pound or a gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then you kind of play with the other two depending on, you know, what works for you. For me, what works is fats. I avoid complex carbs like the plague, just because it spikes my insulin, makes me lethargic, and I just have a better GI that way. So there's that, but then there's also massaging and saunas and sleep, the most important thing, hydration. I think massages are, and mobility too, and stretching. I think massages they seem to do something for me. I've seen, I forgot his name. There's a video with, there's a lot of people that do this. Like in the middle of a workout, you massage the muscle. So you just finished, let's say, bicep curls. Stretch and massage the bicep in between sets. And what you're doing is probably, what I am guessing you're doing, is you're breaking up those loose muscle fibers that you weren't able to tear during the lifts. And you're kind of like just opening everything up a little bit more than if you were to just, rely on the movement. And that concept really makes sense to me. I imagine myself holding like a bunch of twigs, right? And then you kind of like bend the twigs and they snap, but they only snap in one area. Maybe some of them snap, some of them don't. But then if you kind of like wring it out, then they all start to kind of crack and come apart. And so that's how I kind of picture the muscle. And so that's why I think massaging unlocks kind of even further tears of the fibers post-workout without having to use weight. So I think that helps a lot. I've noticed that a lot, especially probably, and then there's also like the other kinds of benefits with like loosening up the fascia and preventing stiffness and muscle pulls and things like that. So massages, yeah. Speaking of recovery, it's time for me to go recover. I'm gonna go have some, I'll usually have 2 eggs, so either minced meat mixed in there or chicken, half an avocado. My condiment of choice is usually mustard, just because it's got no calories, it's got nothing. There's nothing wrong with mustard. So I love yellow mustard, regular Dijon mustard. But when I just want some more, I'll use seasonings often. So that's another thing to kind of add more flavor to everything. Turmeric, smoked paprika, cumin, black pepper. These kinds of the spices I use kind of randomly. And then anytime I have meat, I'm putting sumac on everything. Yeah. Hot sauce occasionally, not often, just because it tends to make me bloated. It just irritates the stomach a little bit, but I love spicy food. Yeah, I'll do that occasionally with some pickled vegetables, either just pickles or like torshi or whatever we have, kimchi sometimes. Maybe some broccoli, steamed broccoli or like air fried broccoli, and a post-workout, some BCAAs and electrolytes maybe. Have a good one. God bless.